Welcome to the PA Media Group Rally for Local webinar series. We thank you for attending and taking time out of your schedules from working at home, attending virtual happy hours, and helping your family attend virtual school. My name is Jennifer Staub, and I'm the Talent Development Manager for Advance Local. I work with my peers from the PA Media Group in Mechanicsburg. My contact information is on the screen. I invite you to engage and connect with me or the PA Media Group as you'd like. Today, we're going to be talking about social media and how to stay engaged and relevant with your customers. Social media is still open for business and allows you, the small business owner, to have a successful communication strategy. We've built these virtual training sessions to rally around the single goal of unifying and energizing our local businesses. At the PA Media Group, we are driven to lead this effort. These virtual learning sessions will give you actionable information to maintain and build on your marketing successes. Over the next few weeks, we'll highlight the knowledgeable members of our team. Our team of local marketing strategists are working remotely and available to you via phone, email, and virtual meeting. They're ready to listen to your challenges and offer guidance. If you attended our session last week, welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, we are thrilled to have you. Welcome. Our speakers today are Dominic Collardo, Diane Farling, and Mike Pfister. Dominic has probably been a part of the P Media Group team for 5 years. Initially, his prior experience made him a unique fit to oversee the real estate vertical, but since then has partnered with small and medium businesses in implementing successful digital strategies. While in quarantine, he began a quest to become the world's strongest man, averaging 100 push-ups and pull-ups for each day in captivity. Diane Farling is a sales manager. She has managed multimedia campaigns for B2B and B2C clients at PAMG for over 20 years. Diane brings expertise and experience to every project and has a track record of results using traditional and digital media. Diane's quarantine resume currently includes sales manager, middle school teacher, referee, contractor, housekeeper, professional organizer, cook, and the most important one, waitress. Mike Pfister is an education marketing strategist at the PA Media Group. Mike is an adrenaline junkie and recently tore his medial meniscus extreme skateboarding down the side of an active volcano. No, seriously, it really happened, and that is the story, and he's sticking with it. Mike has been in the digital space for over 15 years, helping clients in retail, B2B, and now exclusively in the education vertical, working hard to help his clients succeed and stand out in the noise. Quarantine life has given him a new passion of learning how to make and bake sourdough bread from scratch. So I'd like to turn it over to Diane Farling.
Thank you, Jen. Again, like Jen said, we are very happy you all joined us today to discuss social media marketing during COVID-19. As an experienced marketer once said, this is not the season to be quiet. This is the season to communicate. Over the next 40 minutes or so, we will discuss the important do's and don'ts as it relates to marketing your business on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We will also share some examples, resources, and have time for Q&A. The most important thing to remember during this time is to stay connected to your customers. This is critical whether you're a business that has been able to pivot and continue to do business in some way, or if you're a business who has had to completely shut their doors to comply with the government. How you continue to connect and engage or not connect and engage with your current or potential customers can affect how your business is perceived for years to come. This is definitely an opportunity. You don't want to leave the conversation. So why is social media such an important opportunity for your business right now? The most important thing really right now is that there's a 35% increase in total users on Facebook and Instagram. In the last few weeks, live video views and video chat usage is up over 40%. People are needing ways to continue to engage with others daily, and the statistics with social media usage certainly proves that point. There's low competition. Unfortunately, many businesses have had to make the tough decision to pull back from all advertising, making the competition low. It's definitely an opportunity for you to stand out. And there's lower paid social advertising costs. Because so much paid advertising on social media has stopped and more consumers are engaging on social platforms, it creates a lower cost per click through the auction bidding process, which is how paid social is charged. With traffic up and competition low, there is no better time to implement a paid social strategy if it's something you've been thinking about doing. With that, I will turn it over to Dominic Collardo to discuss the Facebook portion of our program.
Thank you, Diane, and thanks to everyone for taking the time out of your busy day to meet with us. I'm excited to share some strategies on ways that you can enhance your brand and engage your target audience on the third most visited site in the world, that being Facebook. With over 2 billion users, it's vital to have a strong presence where your customers are spending such a substantial amount of their time. Some interesting stats to think about. The average user spends an average of about 38 minutes per day on Facebook, and 71% of users check in at least once per day. It's not just for kids anymore. A challenge to conventional wisdom. Teens only account for a little over half of the users, and seniors are the fastest growing demographic. And of the utmost importance to my small and medium business owners that are tuned in today, the average user clicks on 11 ads per month. So before we review some real life examples, there's 4 key takeaways that I would like to review. The first one being a good, better, and best approach. A good approach being organic posts. This is something that you'll see most frequently. It's a great way to engage with users that like or follow your page, and it's free. A step up from that would be to implement a strategy of boosted posts. This is a way to reach those Facebook users that are outside of your following. There's no specific targeting, so it is more of a shotgun approach, but it is a cost-effective way to reach a larger audience. Finally, the best strategy with Facebook ads would be of the paid variety. This is the best way to reach a very specific and relevant audience. Think about how much we know from a person by the things that they like, share, and read on Facebook. And what a great way to reach that and engage that very specific potential customer. Invest a little bit here in paid advertising and you will get so much more in return. The next takeaway I'd like to review are the different kind of posts. If you ever wonder, what can I post and what could I talk about? One strategy would be to take a salesy or industry related type post. Show me a little bit about your knowledge and expertise. A second strategy regarding your posts would be to thank the community or extend outreach of some kind, especially now with everything going on with the pandemic. It's nice to see a sensitive side and a thoughtfulness. Finally, a third strategy regarding your posts would be to show me something fun. Show me your personality. Show me that you're someone that I would want to work with. Remind me that your business is one that I would want to support. Second talking point, the third talking point I'd want to review is, how do you market to people that might not necessarily want to be marketed to? How do people like to be marketed to? And this kind of builds on the last point on having a good variety in your post. When you can turn a customer into a brand advocate, you've really set yourself up for long-term success. Obviously, that's easier said than done, but some things that you might want to consider. Don't market to your customers, but market with your customers. Engage them, ask them to share, ask them to comment, ask them to vote or for their input. Make it a conversation. Another great strategy would be to implement video. This makes your story very personal, but also makes it more memorable. Finally, a third thing to consider would be to build trust and rapport. You have to be there, you have to own it, you have to hold yourself accountable. Respond to comments that are both good and bad. Acknowledge those comments. And finally, a fourth talking point worth considering is different ways to unleash the full potential of Facebook. You want to use a variety of ads regarding messaging, but also a variety in the ad format themselves. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be static ads all the time. As I had mentioned earlier, video is a great way to tell your story and stand out. Facebook Live is a very nice touch to show an authenticity and maybe create a fear of missing out. Facebook lead gen can drive great results depending on the goals and objective of your business. One thing to think about though is to keep it simple. Most of the information that you would really need for a good lead should already be available with one click. Facebook would most likely have that user's name, email address, and phone number, and that's a great starting point. Now I would like to look at some real life examples to hammer these points home. And let's start with some really good ones. You can see Valley Bistro, they really did a phenomenal job here. What they have, you can see on the left is a contest and free giveaways. That's a fantastic way to build excitement. But the thing that really sticks out with me is that they are supporting their locals. They're not even open, but they're spreading goodwill and really doing their part, helping their neighbors. I can imagine a lot of people would be excited about that, and that would become a brand that they would want to support. On the second ad, you can see that they're continuing with that theme of a conversation. They're asking for your input on their new menu. Great strategy and great work here on the part of Valley Bistro. Next up, we want to look at 13 Stripes. So what I like here, we're looking at multiple posts in 1 week. They have adapted to the times during this pandemic. Now they're meeting their customers' needs by offering online coaching. There's some fun posts sprinkled in there too. They have a free Easter egg bingo scavenger hunt, and they have workout classes for kids. This is an excellent job managing their Facebook account. Next, we'll take a look at Hershey Family Chiropractic. Great work here as well. You'll see multiple posts in 1 day. They're staying very active. There's a good variety in the posts, as one is an educational type post, one is a little more business related, and the other one is more on the fun side with a dance skit. I can tell you the middle one probably is sticking with a lot of us as we're locked up in quarantine and a compromised workspace. It's funny and there's a good bit of truth to it. Excellent work here from Hershey Family Chiropractic. Another good example is Mounts Jewelers. I really like what they did here regarding virtual appointments. Just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean that you can't make time to buy a nice piece of jewelry for that special someone. Gotta have that bling. Great way for them to adapt. They also included a fun kids activity with downloads on another post. But the one that I really want to emphasize the most, and if you take anything away from this today, I really like what they did with pinning their updated hours and business model. I can tell you right now, this isn't something that we're seeing enough of. I can't tell you how many times that we'll look at a Facebook page and they'll say that they're open when they're not. You really need to put yourself in the customer's shoes and imagine how that would feel like. I'm sure it's happened to you, and I'm sure you can remember how frustrated you were with that experience. So this is something that's very easy to do, and it's certainly worth taking a couple seconds of your time to keep that information current and relevant. Clever bit of business on the part of Mounts Jewelers. Finally, we're going to look at a not so good example. This post here got quite a bit of negative reactions. While the intention was good, I think it went wrong. You can see where we underlined it there. By they're making a donation, which is great, but they made it contingent on a purchase. And you can't see all the comments here, but I will tell you most of them were not very kind. So of course everyone wants to support a local business, but understand it's a very delicate balance. Be mindful that your potential customers might be struggling too, and just keep in mind that a little thoughtfulness here could go a long way. The intention was good, but just missed the mark a little bit and suffered because of it. So that's all I wanted to share regarding Facebook, but I will be available at the end for any questions that you might have. For now, I am going to turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Diane Farling, to learn a little bit more about effective strategies for Instagram.
Thanks, Dom. With Instagram, you have to remember that your followers are spending more time online than they ever have before. It does present you with a unique opportunity to deepen your relationship with your audience and increase that brand affinity. But you also have to keep in mind, you can't just be running business as usual, or you certainly can risk coming across as tone deaf to an audience with heightened anxiety and sensitivities. You need to be as human as possible when you appear on their social media channels, while also juggling the necessary bit of marketing and selling needed to stay in business. But remember, this is brand new territory for all marketers, including myself. No one is an expert on how to market your business on social media through a global pandemic. So while we can't offer you a tried and tested strategy for marketing through this challenging time, we can give you some guiding principles to help you think through your posts and make decisions as the crisis evolves. I like to look at Instagram marketing similar to how Dom did Facebook with there are 5 guiding principles when you're marketing on Instagram during COVID-19. You want to listen and acknowledge. You want to keep posting. Definitely want to be empathetic. Provide organic value. And ask for help. And the first one, when you're listening and acknowledging, let your followers know that you are listening, you are acknowledging the new normal. Even saying something like, I know it seems uncomfortable or strange to be promoting something right now. Celebrity and business owner Kristen Cavallari, she did a good job of explaining why she was actually promoting a sale for her jewelry. She simply stated that she has 100 employees and will do everything she can to help them keep their jobs, which meant, part of that was promoting the sale on Instagram. Acknowledging the current climate really does humanize your brand. The next one would be keep posting. Your audience is spending more time than ever before on social media. You want to stay connected to them. Instagram recently, and actually within the last couple of days, has added a new feature that makes it really easy for your followers to make purchases of gift cards, products, takeout. You can actually add a sticker to each one of your posts that directs the user to the page on your website that allows that easy purchase. Just tapping the sticker by the user will directly bring them to the specific page of your website where they can complete that transaction. You can also add stickers that promote fundraising that's built on both Instagram and Facebook. They can be added to the business profiles too as a permanent button to make it just that much easier. But if you're unable to market or sell your products or services right now, focus on sharing information that aligns your brand values or connects with current daily situations. Anthropology, which is a large national brand, they post regularly while shifting their visual content to include a bit more interior design, loungewear, or exercise imagery. They have tweaked their captions, like adding the word daydream to this photo of a poolside vacation to keep it realistic, or even saying date night at home to keep their content and clothes relatable to the reality of what daily life is like for everybody right now. The third guiding principle is to be empathetic. COVID-19 is affecting everyone around the world, but it's affecting people in different ways. You need to remember to think outside your own situation, have empathy for your followers, and offer compassion. With this in mind, you definitely want to think twice before posting memes. Some of your followers have lost their jobs, they're trying to work from home with young children, and even homeschooling while trying to get their own work done. In this post, if you notice here, they would usually put, last chance in the headline, sale in the headline. But their approach has been a little bit softer. So instead of not necessarily hard selling, but putting it in people's faces to buy now, they're putting it within the content to give their customers the choice of how they want to interact and if they want to take advantage of the offer. It's just a softer way of that promotion. The fourth one is to provide organic value. So what does that mean? Turn your Instagram into a valuable resource by sharing articles or videos. Focus really on driving engagement first to your posts instead of driving traffic. You don't want to constantly ask for people to swipe up or to click the link to your bio. Provide things that you've seen that you feel would be helpful to your followers, even if it doesn't necessarily relate to your business, or something that may be interesting to your followers. It really does help improve the engagement of the post that you're posting. And the fifth one and the final, and I think can be one of the most important ones, is ask for help. If you're struggling, as a business or you're looking for some guidance, it's okay to lean on your community. That's what it's here for. Get vulnerable in your content, share your stories, clearly communicate how your followers can support your business right now. And we keep hearing this, over and over again, that truly, we're all in this together. And now is a great time to lean on others and to humanize yourself and your brand out there and ask for that kind of help. The following are some examples that locally we'll share as good examples that we've seen. Bresky Beverage, they post multiple times a day with new beer that they brought in. Each post contains an update and a friendly reminder that they're asking people to wear masks, that they're only allowing 10 people inside at a time, and they're updating their followers just on new and changing procedures for buying from them. One of the biggest things you don't want to do, and we're hearing it right now with the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board and some of the, disappointment that people have had with placing orders, you don't want to surprise your customers when they come to do business with you. So the clearer that you can be on what your expectations of them as a customer and what they can expect of you as a business is the most important thing to keep sharing. The next one is Benny's Pet Depot. So Benny's Pet Depot is considered an essential business. They have quality posts. They update regularly. They highlight specific products. But they've also done a really good job in explaining the measures that they are taking to make sure that their customers are safe, including that curbside delivery. So again, the more that you can communicate as far as the expectations your customers can have of you, I think the better it is for the engagement of those posts. Another good one here is Trogs. So Trogs, they use great imagery. They again do consistent product updates. They have pivoted now, knowing that they can't do the dine-in anymore. They changed their business model to take home meal kits and curbside beer pickup. This is the way that they've communicated how they're going to keep employees working and also giving people a break from cooking at home. I don't know about, a lot of you, but I have cooked more at home than I have probably in the last 15 years over this time. It just wasn't the normal with lives being as busy as they are, unfortunately. So they do promote that takeout meal option, and they do it frequently, and it changes. So really the final thing is a question with Instagram is, what should you not do? Basically, don't go quiet. If you don't have an Instagram, make one. It's easy, it's free, it shows your audience that you're keeping up to date with best practices. Post. So many businesses post a lot more on Facebook than they do Instagram. You know, posting photos. And keep in mind, those photos don't have to be professional. You know, nowadays, your regular iPad, your regular cell phone, they have good enough cameras on them that, you know, as long as there's enough lighting, you can take a super good photo. A suggestion, portrait mode. Portrait mode can also make photos really pop. And, you know, the long story short is just post. People want to read your description. People want to see updates from you. You know, at the beginning of this, we said people are looking to engage in with people, you know, with businesses during this time. And you want to make sure that you're out there and you're communicating. And if you are open still, or have changed your business model to keep operating, make sure that your bio clearly communicates that as well. You know, just like the Mounts Jewelers example for Facebook, you know, pinning that new communication of how they're doing business is very important. And with that, I will turn it over to Mike Pfister, who is going to discuss us on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Diane. Those were some fantastic points that you made in terms of how to really being able to maximize your efforts on Instagram. And I do want to apologize in advance. I do have small kids at home. And in fact, one of them right now is having a meltdown. So if you can hear them, I'm sorry. The big thing with LinkedIn is that LinkedIn is both a B2C and a B2B opportunity. And right now, we're in the midst of a massive detour. And detours are just an opportunity for a new perspective and new opportunities. So before you get started in posting on LinkedIn, the big thing that you have to ask yourself and ask your organization, is your personal profile and your business profile up to date and complete? And we'll dive into some tips about both of those here as we begin. So tips about your personal profile completeness. The big thing there is, I mean, choosing the right profile picture for LinkedIn. Adding a background photo. Making your headline more than just your job title. Turn your summary into your story. And ultimately declare war on overused buzzwords. Focused, innovative, creative, strategic, or just a few to get the brain thinking about those. So when I'm talking about the right profile picture, the big thing is that a lot of times I've seen people using cropped other social media platform photos. So Facebook and Instagram, Snapchat and the like, that are not the right type of image that you really want to portray on LinkedIn. Using a background photo really is your way to create your digital brand in the professional world. And what I mean by not making your headline more than just a job title is my official title is education marketing strategist. But my headline is about helping colleges and universities tell their story digitally and to break through the noise. So it gives that person who's viewing my profile for the first time a little bit more depth than just a title. Here's some good examples of both the profile photo as well as the headline. And here's another great example of how to utilize the background photo option as well. Some bad examples of personal profiles: not having a photo at all and not saying much about who you are and what you do. Because at the first glance, when someone sees your profile, if they don't relate to you immediately, they're probably going to move on from that profile, and they're not going to engage with the content that you produce. Last but not least, as I mentioned, this is a professional platform, so don't reuse photos that you have on Facebook or Instagram. For business profiles, I have a couple tips on how to set up a business profile if you don't have one already. But if there is one and you need to relay some information back to the people that are in charge of that, here's some tips on how to make sure that that is set up properly as well as complete. Writing a compelling summary. This is an opportunity in a professional way, but also to allow your business's mission and your business's culture to shine through. Add your products and services. What do you do? And how do you service your clients and customers? Capture their attention with great cover images, whether that be your employees or the products that you produce or the services that you provide. Publish company updates that bring value to your audience. And in this time, that's the big piece, is how are you doing business now? I mean, it's kind of repetitious in terms of the same things that you've heard in both Instagram and Facebook, but it's still relevant here as well. And make sure that you have all of the relevant contact information and details so people know how to communicate and how to get in touch with you. Here's some good examples.